Hello and welcome to Everything to Guppy, the podcast where we go through every item, concept, trinket, etc. in the Binding of Isaac series of games. I'm William Hughes, and as always, I'm joined by a guy who really keeps digging a hole, but to heaven, Gary Butterfield.
It's me, Trisket Shaking Mitch.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I'm shaking Triscuits.
Oh, that was a rough headphones experience.
I'm sorry. 2 shakes for I'm sorry. 1 shake for hello.
It was Trisket Shaking Mitch? Wait, your 2 options are hello and no?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry and no.
And I'm sorry and hello.
All right. I feel like those pretty much cover my 2 forms of conversation. Well, Trisket Shakin' Mitch, are you happy to... What I should ask questions you can answer. What's your favorite board game? Really? Sorry's a terrible game. No, it's okay. You don't have to... God, I hate someone who apologizes for everything. No, come on, please. This is ridiculous.
Question mark? What are we talking about, Will?
Gary, today we're talking about...
I'm back.
Yeah, oh, hey, Gary. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I introduced you, but Mitch was here.
Can I tell you the secret origin of Mitch?
Yeah.
When we were doing that not very good bit at the end...
It wasn't just... You had Triscuits and you wanted to shake them?
It's slightly more complicated than that. When we were doing that not very funny bit at the end of the last episode,
Which
I shook
one?
that box of Triscuits, and it was kind of fun. I was like, I should like to do that again. It has a nice action to it. So
It has a nice action to it.
yeah.
Yeah, please leave ratings and reviews on the Triscuit website.
Yeah, man. I would take some free fucking, if we got sponsorship from Triscuits, I would do some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Triscuits, they're delicious and crunchy.
Well, it feels like you're eating food. Like they're really thick and like, you know, like kind of a little bit bland and a little bit not good. Mm-hmm. So it kind of tastes like you're eating like real food, like that has nutritional value.
Yeah, like what a human would eat, not a dog.
Exactly. I watch. There's a YouTube person I watch sometimes named Robert Dyer, who is a weirdo who reviews food, and he did an episode about a new candy bar that came out. Have you heard about the Reese's Outrageous?
Boy, I don't think I have, Gary. Do you mean the R Outrage?
No,
that was my version of B-Rev.
Slip hip. That's a slick pull.
Yeah.
It's a Nutrageous bar, but instead of peanuts, it has Reese's Pieces in it.
All right.
And that's too sweet. I had one. But he's talking about it, and he talks about how Nutrageous bars have tons of food value because they have peanuts. And I think he thinks that like by eating a Nutrageous bar, like he's getting a meaningful amount of protein and it's good for him.
Okay.
And that's what I feel about Triscuits, and we're both fooling ourselves.
Yeah.
Like Triscuits feel like they have food value and they don't. And Nutrageous bars feel like they have food value and they don't.
God, food value sounds like something that someone deep in the bowels of Yum Brands came up with.
Oh, 100%. TVC Taco has like, at the meetings there have definitely talk up the food value when you talk about, you know.
Yeah, we found that the nacho fries, God, I love the nacho fries, have excess food value. Too much. We're losing food value on this proposition.
And when they get soggy, you might have to eat them with a spoon, aka shovel, aka we need to go deeper.
That's right. The item whose name I won't remember by the end of this episode.
Nope.
I just think of it as the shovel.
I also call it the shovel. So the shovel is a shovel, and it spawns a trap door when you use it.
Yeah.
And
this item is deceptively terrible.
So here let's describe what it does.
Okay.
And then we'll get into it. Cause I think that is an item that has some uses.
Okay. I got excited to use the phrase deceptively terrible.
It is deceptively terrible because if you're early on and you're playing Isaac, you are playing, so what this does is it opens up a trapdoor. 90% of the time this will go to the next floor. Only downward, so it can't go up to the cathedral or the chest. 10% of the time it will lead to a crawl space or black market. Which we'll talk about those probably after we die.
I'm looking forward to that.
Me too. God. So if you're first playing the show, like the idea of skipping a floor, or first playing the game, the idea of skipping a floor is
play the game. Welcome to
ARG.
Everything to Guppy, the game. If you'd like Will to say, fuck you, Gary. God, how would they do it?
They might just tell you to, but we're not ahead anymore. So if you get a tweet about it, you'll know what it's about.
Oh shit, I hate that.
It won't, yeah, it won't be like, you'll be like, fave and move on. Like you can't just pretend like you don't know what it is. So when you're first playing the game, you just want to get as far as you can, and skipping a floor sounds awesome. Because man, there's all those hurdies on there.
Yeah,
you don't have to fight the boss. There's all those hurdies. And then as you get like a little bit better at Isaac, you realize like, I want those items. I want that boss item. I want that deal with the devil chance. I can't skip a floor.
Skip a whole floor? Like some sort of sociopath? Or some sort of small child who loves to skip?
Yeah. Yeah. It's too much. You lose too much value. And it correlates to like value. You lose too much food value. That's 100% true. Especially if you have, you poured some milk on your Triscuits and made like kind of a salty bland cereal.
I was about to say that's cereal. You've invented cereal.
Invented cereal. Thank you. From cereal. I think this correlates to skill. How much you want to use this? Like, I wouldn't do this. So, we're doing music now?
I'm doing it's supposed to be the cereal theme by Nick Thorburn.
Oh, okay. I didn't recognize it. It's like, it's supposed to be the cereal theme and you're going on for a long time.
It's a long theme. That used to be my go-to writing music. I love that theme song.
I don't know it.
Did you never, Gary, have you not listened to Cereal?
I have. God, I was thinking the cereal theme. I didn't realize who did the cereal theme, and I thought you were talking about the breakfast cereal, and it was something different. Like it was some kind of viral video, like a badger, honey, whatever.
Yeah, obviously,
thing.
I'm your friend, most likely to be referencing the music from a viral video.
Yeah, you love salad fingers.
I don't know what...
I'm making a very important point about the Binding of Isaac video game series.
Yeah, and I'm adding musical accompaniment in the style of Nick Thorburn from The Islands and his famous theme song from Serial. A popular podcast once upon a time.
It was a real big deal.
It was
we're the Serial of Guppy podcast.
I doubt that.
So, Enter the Gungeon, which is the closest parallel I have to Binding of Isaac.
All right.
I think that once you get better at Binding Isaac, this item looks worse to you. Like, if I could use this in Enter the Gungeon right now, I would skip floor number 4 10 times out of 10.
Well, that's because floor number 4 is a hell space where
I've
been playing a lot of Gungeon, Gary, and I've gotten past floor 4 twice.
It's harder than floor 5.
Yes, it is.
And that sucks. And it's such a shitty floor, and so many runs end there. Oh, the zombies are the fucking worst, man. Have you had the things come out of the wall yet?
I don't think so. I don't.
Okay,
oh yeah, yes, I have. Yes, like the fake walls that smash down and
not the mimics.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes enemies are just on the wall, come out of the wall.
Well, fuck that.
It's like I'm not keeping my eye on that.
The fuck that in that game is so high already.
There's a lot of things that are pretty frustrating.
All right, Gary, go back to your go back to your point you were making and that I was musically underscoring.
So my point is just that it feels like you get over the desire to use this, like as you get better. So I'm not that good at Gungeon, so I definitely want to skip floor 4. Whereas any people who are not that good at Isaac yet would want to skip like the depths. That's all.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. At this point, I see it as I'm giving up a devil room and probably a stat up. Yep. Like, it's not like getting to the end of Isaac. You need X amount of items to. Not even to win, just to not be bored out of your mind fighting the final bosses. That's
exactly it. Because you realize as you get a little bit further in your Isaac career that you are playing to get a bunch of different items. Like getting items is the point of the game almost. Mm-hmm. So skipping that sucks. I will say though that like if I get this in the first floor and I don't have the D6, I like it because I will get crawl spaces and black markets.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like with batteries and stuff. And black markets are so cool. Mm-hmm. I love black markets.
I have very little experience with them because they're rare as hell, but they are very
They're super rare. Yeah. Should we explain what they are or should we save that for the black market episode?
Let's save that for the black market episode, Gary. Episode 392.
Probably smart.
Called Shot. The other really cool thing about this item is that, because we have to remember, the earlier people who have played aren't quite as obsessed with this game. If you haven't unlocked Sheol and Satan the normal way, this is a great way to knock out Satan kills early on.
Yeah. Because you can either do it after you fight Mom or skip Mom entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a real clever little thing that again, I always feel like a lesser game would patch out those kind of things. And I'm glad it doesn't.
Yeah.
I did not know that if you use this while flying and you're over a rock, you'll destroy the rock.
Okay. That's cool.
According to the wiki, that's really clever and cool.
Mm-hmm.
A nice little attention to detail.
Yeah. I'm into it. I'm not super into it. Gary, do you buy that this is an Inception reference?
Oh, no.
No, me either.
Oh, no.
I had to go back and look. And you know what? Inception did come out before the first game, the first version. But I still don't. Because you know what they don't do in Inception, Gary?
Do a lot of digging.
They don't do a lot of digging.
Yeah. It'd be, it wasn't like his main thing that tied him to his wife and kept him alive was a shovel that he just spun on the table.
Just everyone has to just stand there watching the shovel spin.
Shovel, him just kind of spinning it, falling over every time, and him picking it back up.
And Michael Caine's just like, the fucking shovel for so many times.
And they might have said we need to go deeper.
Probably.
In that. At some point, but it's also a shovel, and it's so. I mean, I guess you are taking like a psychological journey here, but not through explicit layers of dreams.
Yeah, all I remember is a lot of talk about the kick and never understanding the kick or caring about the kick. But that's because I hate all of Christopher Nolan's movies. Don't at me.
I shan't. I was going to give you a personal app, but I won't do an in-person app. But if specifically this was supposed to be about doing the thing that happens in Inception, it could have been a chair. It could have been like the kick.
Is that the thing from the movie?
They use a chair often.
Okay.
For the kick.
They use a chair often.
They use a chair, often, for the kick.
Yeah, Dark Knight is horribly overrated. All of his movies are overrated. The only one I've ever liked is Insomnia. Don't at me. Did you see that on Twitter, or was that in an episode of this show? Probably both. I've said it a lot of times. I don't like Christopher Nolan's movies.
It's likely. Yeah. That seems, it's watching his movies as your own personal Dunkirk. You know what? I'm done, Kirk, with this episode. Gary, what can they do if they, God, I love Mitch. He's still hanging around. And he's being polite and quiet. Yeah, Mitch is a great podcast guest. Gary, what can they people do if they enjoy the show? You can rate and review the show on iTunes. I'm saying that first to be a good cop this episode. Uh-huh. What can they do, Will? Hey, why don't you open up your fucking wallets, you pieces of shit, and give us some money by going to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. Yeah. Venmo me, motherfucker. Zell me. Yes. Zell me. Hi. My landlord invited me to a service for paying rent called Cozy. I've heard of Cozy. I feel like I never heard of Cozy before. I just got this email that's like, you're going to love Cozy. And I'm like, why is my landlord talking to me about Cozy? Is it a clown? Like, what is my landlord doing with this? So, yeah, my my house has been sold by a couple times over the last year by the property flippers, and I can't pay my rent online anymore, and I have to pay it with checks, and it's just the worst. I feel like that is the worst. That is the worst. Like what do you install a landline next? Landlords. I am going to install a landline next, Gary. Thank you for asking. Are you? Nah, I considered it now that I have my first, my own place for the last something 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. It's been quite a while since I've lived in my own place that's my own. I considered it just as this is something people do, and then I just looked at how much it cost a month, and I'm like, oh no, that's dumb. Yeah, they still charge a lot for a landline. Yeah, here's the thing nobody uses, and nobody should. Good night. So, good night.
And now, the Torso Report, with your hosts, G. Butterfield and Hughes, Will.
All right, I'm going to call it now that I have 1 week in me.
Yeah, okay.
I am, the sweat is in Torso Report, the sweat has pooled a couple times in the, the gully between my boxers and my gut. Uh-huh. So it's pretty intense. I got an intense scene right now. I'm going to go shake off like a dog after this. Yeah, mine, my reservoir point remains the spots under my breasts. I've definitely got that going on too. Yeah. I posted a picture of my shirt today and I definitely had under tit lines from sweat. I'm like, Gary, I don't understand why you never loved under tit.
Like, it's so clever.
Megalo Mammary from Undertit.
Yeah, that's a great song.
That's pretty good, actually. I want a little bit of recognition for how good that is.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
It was good, pretty good.